Were you alive in 1965? On this date, 50 years ago, your humble host was a month away from my 7th birthday, and I remember quite well what was going on above us. A half-century ago this morning, Jim McDivitt and Ed White rode atop their Titan II launch vehicle into orbit aboard Gemini 4. The television coverage was itself historic. An international audience of 12 European nations could watch the launch live, courtesy of the Early Bird satellite.
Okay, I'm out.
But history remembers best what occurred on the flight's third orbit. Ed White stepped out of the capsule and became the first American to walk in space. Back on terra firma, American television viewers had to settle for a primitive form of black and white animation while listening to live communications between mission control and the spacecraft. This was the best ABC News could offer with the telecast technology available in 1965. Still, interest in the spacewalk was second to none.
Вышел из корабля Алексей Леонов.
Americans understood that the Soviet Union could again boast of another space first, as Alexei Leonov became the first man to walk in space almost 3 months before the flight of Gemini 4. Leonov may have preceded him, but Ed White was ecstatic during his own walk.
Okay, I'm drifting down underneath the spacecraft. There's no difficulty with big contacting the spacecraft. It's all very soft. Particularly as long as you move nice and slow. I feel very thankful to have the experience to be doing this.
The HBO miniseries From the Earth to the Moon dramatized Ed White's spacewalk, but there was no exaggerating White's reluctance to end his EVA and climb back inside the spacecraft.
Ed, Houston wants you to come back in.
Back in? Roger. I've been talking for a while.
Coming in.
And it's the saddest moment of my life.
Ironically, the Capcom, the capsule communicator in Houston 50 years ago insisting that Ed White get back in his spacecraft, was Gus Grissom. Sadly, less than 2 years later, White and Grissom, along with Roger Chaffee, died in a flash fire during ground tests for Apollo 1. Ed White was 36 when he died. The total time for his spacewalk in 1965 was 36 minutes, twice as long as the walk of Alexei Leonov back in March of that year. As I approach my 57th birthday, I'm still filled with awe and admiration for our astronauts, both past and present. And that's the way I see it. Now, what do you have on your mind? Let's check our social media. Our first comment comes from Paul, who writes in about Cuba no longer being considered a sponsor of terrorism thanks to the Obama administration. He writes, JD, maybe Obama has a great idea. We can end terrorism by removing everyone from the state sponsors of terrorism list. Larry writes in about the Supreme Court review of those signature Obama initiatives such as amnesty and Obamacare. And he writes, bottom line, JD, the power-hungry nature of the judiciary may save us from Obama. Well, Larry, we'll see about that. Now, here is another comment from Sue. After having recently discovered us here on Newsmax TV, she writes, I'm so thankful for your shows. I believe America is headed on a downhill path, and we so desperately need your logical and truthful point of view. I'll pray for your continued success. Sue, we thank you for your prayers. We thank you for watching. And we hope to hear from all of you. You can use email, Facebook, Twitter, or our website to get in touch with us. That'll do it for us tonight. For those you see and those you don't, stay brave, stay free, stay tuned.